So if you're a CFO today, the whole idea of automation, well, it's not really a question of if, is it? It's a question of how. We all know the promise: speed, accuracy, real-time insight. But how do you make sure it actually delivers all that instead of just more chaos faster? Okay, let's dive into the playbook every finance leader needs before taking this huge step. And spoiler alert, this isn't about the tech. It's all about the strategy. This quote, wow, it gets right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? The biggest risk in finance automation isn't that the software will fail. No, the real risk is that it will succeed perfectly at doing the wrong thing, just at lightning speed. This really captures the massive stakes we're talking about. On one side, you've got the dream, right? Faster closes, way fewer errors, insights you've never had before. It's why we're even talking about this. But on the other side, there's the reality a lot of companies face: amplified confusion, errors getting permanently baked into the system, and frankly, a ton of wasted money. The thing is, the problem is almost never the tool. It's the lack of a solid strategic foundation. So, how do you bridge that huge gap between the promise and the all too common reality? Well, it all starts by asking the right questions before you even think about calling a vendor. We've boiled it down to 7 critical questions that are going to be the bedrock of a successful automation strategy. All right, phase 1 is all about looking inward. Before you get excited about any shiny new software, you've got to take a hard look at your own foundation. I mean, are your current processes, your controls, and your data actually solid enough to build anything on? And this really comes down to 3 absolute non-negotiables. Do you know your process? Are your controls tough enough? And is your data reliable? Let's break each of those down. Now, this is a big one. It's amazing how many finance teams run on what's basically tribal knowledge, where the real process lives inside the heads of a few key people. How on earth are you supposed to automate that? The very first step is getting it all down on paper: every single input, every decision, every handoff. If you can't map it, you can't automate it. Period. Here's the thing about automation: it doesn't magically invent good controls. All it does is enforce the ones you already have. So if your approval workflows are a bit shaky or your validation checks are kind of inconsistent, automation is just going to make those weaknesses permanent and a whole lot faster. For a CFO, this is absolutely crucial. Automating a weak process just creates a really dangerous false sense of security. Just think of clean data as the high-octane fuel for your automation engine. If you're feeding it messy, inconsistent, or duplicate data, you're going to get wrong answers at an incredible scale. It's garbage in, garbage out, but at the speed of light. Poor data governance can turn a multi-million-dollar investment into a high-speed error factory. Okay, so once you're confident your foundation is solid, the next phase is to get crystal clear on your actual mission. This is where we move from the what and the how to the most important question: why? And this phase really boils down to 2 key questions. First, what's the actual problem we're fixing? And second, what's the plan for when things inevitably go wrong? Oh man, it is so easy to get swept up in the hype of a cool new tool and just start a project without a clear goal. You have to ask, is our biggest pain point the endless manual rework? Is it the speed of our reporting, or is it accuracy? You've got to name the specific problem you're solving, otherwise you can't measure success, and the whole thing just becomes an expensive activity. Let's be real, finance is never a simple straight line. There are always exceptions: weird transactions, system glitches, unique customer requests. So many automation projects fail because they're only designed for the happy path. A truly strong, resilient system has to have a clear, documented plan for every single one of those edge cases. If it doesn't, your team is just going to end up right back where they started, doing manual workarounds. And that brings us to our final phase. This is what really separates the projects that just work from the projects that actually last. This is all about making sure you have long-term success through real oversight and, of course, getting your most valuable asset, your team, to actually buy in. And these last 2 pieces of the puzzle are arguably the most important of all: maintaining total visibility and managing the human side of this whole transition. Automation must never, ever become a black box. As a finance leader, you need more visibility into your processes, not less. Who's monitoring the system? How do errors get flagged and fixed? Can you pull a clean audit trail at a moment's notice? The trust you have in an automated system is directly tied to how well you can see what it's actually doing. And this just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the dreaded black box, which always leads to hidden errors and a total loss of trust from everyone. On the other, you have total oversight with dashboards and audit trails, which gives you what this is all about in the first place: enhanced control. Ah, the human element. This is so often the most overlooked part. Automation isn't just a tech project, it's a huge organizational shift. It changes people's roles and responsibilities. Without clear communication, proper training, and a plan for how your team's jobs are going to evolve, you are going to face serious resistance and really low adoption. Remember, the goal here is to empower your team, not just to replace their tasks. So once you've really worked through these 7 questions, something interesting happens. The entire purpose of this whole journey, it shifts. You stop thinking about automation as just another piece of software you have to buy. Because you start to realize that ultimately, success here isn't measured by how fast your processes run. It's measured by the precision of your numbers, the strength of your controls, and the unshakable confidence you have in your entire financial operation. That is the real ROI.
Look, if you only take one single thing away from this explainer, please let it be this. Establish control first. Design your strong processes, clean up your data, and define your mission. Automation should be the very last step that scales all that excellence, not a shortcut you take to try and create it from scratch.
And this, right here, is the ultimate prize. When you follow this playbook, automation transforms from being just a cost-saving tool into a genuine strategic asset. It's what gives your entire organization the agility and the insight it needs to truly outperform the competition. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about for your own team. Are you just trying to buy a tool to go a little bit faster? Or are you truly building a foundation to create a lasting competitive advantage? The choice is yours.